So, as you see on the screen, Portugal is a far country to the west, with regions, with the conversions regions, so needed to engage in projects to promote development of Portugal and of Alentejo. If you look at the region, it has 47 municipalities, divided into 4 sub-regions, 2 of them represented here by presidents of the Association of Municipalities. It is a region with Atlantic coast and in the east connecting to Spain, with several cities and localities in the region, 47 municipalities. The region is strategically localized near Lisbon, 100 kilometers from Lisbon, one of the cities, which is Évora. Has one of the biggest water dam of artificial lake. Has his bets on agriculture, renewable energies, education, regional airport. Has a recent infrastructure of Embraer in Évora, and has a great name in quality tourism. The project we started focusing on ICT for regional development was based on 3 phases of the strategy. First, we needed to engage with the municipalities and local authorities, giving them the tools and getting them aware that ICT could make a difference in local development. The second phase, which is the broadband network in one of the regions of Alentejo, we consolidated and potentiated shared services. And the third phase, which is the science park, that is now being started in the region. The first project, it was electronic portals and infrastructures in the region. It was in 2007 given a good practice label. Talking about broadband, this is the broadband for the part of the region which embraces 14 municipalities and connects through a backbone network 14 entrepreneurial parks. It connects also 14 municipalities and services. It is supposed to connect local government, SMEs, education, health, and other sectors of the region. It is an open network, open to every telco that wants to use it. It is explored by one telco that is responsible for placing the network, the open network in the market, and give the others the use. There is an example of a newcomer that is starting to use the infrastructures of the network to promote their services. If we look at some charts, Portugal has, in terms of rural broadband, 90% of coverage. Most of them it is DSL, not fiber, but the penetration above 30 megabits is 9%, so very low coverage in rural areas. And if we look at Alentejo, the only city that has now fiber is the biggest city, which is Évora. The rest of the localizations or the municipalities do not have fiber investments besides the ones made by the 14 municipalities. We have now defined an action plan, not a global strategy, but an action plan regarding broadband. And the goals are to unify local government strategy on broadband, coordinate activities and investments from the municipalities on NGN, support telcos investments. We are discussing with Portugal Telecom and DST, which is a newcomer operator in the region. How can we help them be more effective on the investments they are making, and how can that benefit the citizens and municipalities? Influence using cohesion principles the development of these networks. We need to be focused on rural areas, which is most of the region, and not only on the major cities in the region. Promote sharing of infrastructures between municipalities, telcos, other utilities. Promote regional attractiveness by digital factor, having ICT as a driver and not only as an enabler, and modernize entrepreneurial parks to attract more SMEs and make a technological push of systems, technologies and platforms into the SME. We have divided the strategy in 3 regional levels. In terms of Alentejo, as NUT 2, the RAN Alentejo, which is below, which is an action plan to be developed by ADRAL. Then we have in each of the four sub-regions and responsibility of the association municipalities, the development of fiber to connect every town hall. Then we have the entrepreneurial parks in the ZAN and the municipal networks and the pilot action in an extremely rural area. We need to be very careful about the investments that are made and the regulation, because some of the measures that are being taken by regulators or by the Commission may have a different, how can I say it, a different result regarding the investments. When the regulator in Portugal allows for the price of broadband to be cheaper in Lisbon, which is economically attractive, than in the rural areas, they are allowing them to make more benefit for an area that is already competitive, and forgetting the cohesion areas where there are no investments from private sector. Also, when the Commission announces, or at least hearing from the words of the telco operators, that it will open the fiber network, it will force the incumbents to open the fiber network to sharing. The response from the telcos are that they will stop all investments in fiber. We need to take extremely careful about this. Also, there are some cases where the investments from the local authorities has frozen the investments from the private because the public invested. So there are some key issues here regarding these investments, and it is a continuous operation that needs to be done by some local authorities. One of the focus we started in the beginning of our strategy was to promote the modernization of entrepreneurial parks, get connectivity to SMEs, and get services for the SMEs that they are not getting nowadays. Extremely important to us, it is the inter-regional connectivity between the 4 Alentejos. You have there 5 because there is Algarve, which is below region and is not the sea portion of Alentejo, because this is the map of the grey areas defined by the Portuguese government, where the investments in broadband are being financed through the newcomer operator, and those are the municipalities where there will be investments in new generation networks. The 2 major players in terms of infrastructures, Portugal Telecom, which is the incumbent, and DS Telecom, which is a newcomer, being funded by the Portuguese government and by EU to make an open network accessible to every operators. Here we have also a new concern. It is not the guy from the infrastructure that decides if there is fiber to my house. It's the marketing guy. He will decide if I'm attractive or not, sometimes by economic rationals and sometimes by marketing rationals. And being their infrastructure says nothing about the service I get. There are places where there are fiber and there are no services because the marketing doesn't see it as attractive, or there is more money to get somewhere else. So we need to make some measures, obviously not at local level, but at national levels, or that with using EU directives to impose some cohesion in these projects. This is one result of the investments that was started in 2004 in the ICT matters, and by engaging with local authorities, municipalities, university, ADRAL and several other organizations, we were able to motivate organizations and people to strengthen the investment on ICT, and the Science Park is an example of some of the results of continuous investment on ICT as a driver. In terms of shared services, in terms of good practice, we are unifying all infrastructures based on the network and on a shared data center, which is on a private location in the region. We have deployed services to 14 municipalities, from VoIP to video and other services. Next. This is the example of the VoIP, where you have 750 IP phones connected from 14 organizations, centralizing the data center and connecting with SIP trunk to the operator in a centralized way. Another platform that we have shared for the municipalities. So this is the result of services that this strategy is based on, and that's why I'm showing this slide. We need to get the municipalities focused on the investment to give infrastructure to the market, so the market can give service to the citizens and SMEs, but we need to show value for the investors. So the investors, in this case, that are municipalities, are seeing value on the efficiency and on the services they are getting from the shared infrastructure.